Hello, welcome to my channel. I am Idress. Today we're gonna discuss part second, lyric criticism of Joseph. Its foundations are Pauli in falsehood and Pauli in truth. Spectator 108 to 107 to 108. Addition cites with approval the French critic Bohr's view that it is impossible for any third to be beautiful which isn't just and hasn't its foundation in the nature of things. Then the basis of all wit is truth, and that no thought can be valuable, of which good sense is the groundwork. Spectator 108 to 109. These remarks come strikingly close to the Pope's definition of truth, wit, as nature to advantage dressed both population crown wit in truth. The similarity here revealing the profoundly neoclassical disposition adapted by Addition. In number 65 of the Spectator Tale similarly states, I shall always make reason, truth, and nature the measures of praise and dispraise, urging the use of these standards rather than the generality of opinion. Spectator 111. However, while Addition and Steels assume a neoclassical stance in invoking absolute standards rather than public opinion, they do in later essays somewhat anticipate the more modern tendency to appeal to the collective taste of a community of readers. In number 409 of the Spectator, Addition defines taste as that faculty of the soul which discerns the beauties of an author with pleasure and the imperfection with dislike. The test of whether someone possesses this faculty, he says, is to read the celebrated works of antiquity, which have withstood the test of time, as well as those modern works which have the sections of the politer part of our contemporaries. Spectator 202. The person of the taste will appreciate the beauties of these texts, like Dryden and later writers such as Arnold and Eliot. Addition appeals here to the authority of a cultured community of reader, as well as to the timeless person here, timeless persons, timeless principles embodied in the class. His position appears to straddle both classical disposition centered on the authority of the text and a modern attitude that accords the leadership in an integral role in assigning of the literary value. With the similar ambivalence, he views the faculty of taste as in some degree born with us, but as capable of cultivation through exposure to refined writings, to conversation, to discuss with culture people, as to rectify the partiality of our assessment, and to the best critics both ancient and modern times. Edison Spectator 203 to 2. Deepening this ambivalence still further, Edison states that although in body the unities of time, place, and action, as well as other classical perceptives, are absolutely necessary, he also insists that there is still something more essential to art, something that elevates and astonishes the fancy and gives a greatness of mind to the reader, which few of the critics, beside loginess, have considered. It is also in Spectator 204. This insistence of the appeal to the fancy as more essential than the merely observing the classical rules, as well as the appeals to loginess, suggests dissatisfactions with the view of art as purely rational, wholly explicable process. This kind of dissatisfaction somewhat for amorphous at this transitional stage of literary critical history will later bosoms into the certain romantic formulations of art. Such blossoming has one of its germs in Addison's essay in number 411 of the Spectator on the pleasure of the imagination. Addison suggests here that our sight is the most perfect and delightful sense. It fills the mind with the largest variety of ideas, converses with its objects at the greatest distance, separates itself over an infinite multitude of bodies, comprehends the largest figures, and bring into our reach some of the most remote part of the universe. It is also in Spectator 205 to 206. It is the sense of sight that furnishes the imaginations with its ideas. Addison defines the pleasure of imaginations, a term he uses interchangeably with fancy, as arising from visible objects either when we have them actually in our view or when we call up their ideas into our mind by various forms of art. While Addison acknowledges that there can be no image in the imaginations which we don't first receive to our sight, he also points out that we have the power of retaining, altering, and compounding those images which we have once received into all the variety of picture and vision that are most agreeable to imagination. And to this faculty, we can create scenes more beautiful than any that can be found in the whole compass of nature. Spectator 206. These comments anticipate the formulation of many romantic writers, suggesting outward to that we have a powerful faculty in imagination for transcending and transforming nature. Addison obliquely anticipates courage in distinguishing between the primary pleasure of imagination, which precede or which go ahead from objects that lies before us, and secondary pleasure which flows from the ideas of visible object called up in our memories in the absence of objects themselves. Spectator 206 to 207. Like Kant, Addison situate imagination somewhere between sense and understanding. It is higher than sense but lower than understanding. The pleasure of understanding are more preferable because they are based on new knowledge. Yet the pleasure of imagination, Addison adds, just as great as transporting. They are also more accessible, inciting our immediate accent beauty. Spectre 207. Moreover, someone possessed of refined imagination look upon the world as it were in an other light and discovers in it a minute of charm are a multitude of germs that conceal themselves from the generality of mankind. It is also in Spectator 207, almost Carson, whereby the spectator perceiving the subject merges with the object of its vision. Thank you very much. This was the second part, and the third part will be discussed tomorrow. Thank you very much for being the part of this video. If you have not yet subscribed the channel, please subscribe the channel. Do share also my video and also comment your valuable feedback below the video.